wanted to share with you a little bit of my journey with guides. Now, I started it obviously through tarot. Everything came through tarot or yoga. And I used to go to Stansted Hall, which is a spiritualist center in the UK, and also to the mind, body, spirit fairs. I can't remember what they're called in London. Um, Spirit, mind, body. Yeah, anyway, you know what I mean. Like on a regular basis. And meeting people, going to workshops, going in a residency for a week, getting classes, all to do with spiritual development. And all the time around me, talking to people, they all had their guides and their helpers and their angels, and I had no one. I mean, I just I didn't want to invent anything. It's not that I had no one; it's that I didn't know my connections. I wasn't connected. That's more accurate. And I really wanted one. I was like, but I'm studying as hard and I'm really trying, and but through meditation a lot, and it never happened. And I could hear all these fabulous stories about guides, saying this, doing that, and whatever. And then once I was in a lovely meditation, just I can't remember if it was a meditation about guides, but it was a group meditation. I was in Stansted Hall, and this young man appeared in my meditation. Honestly, that's why it felt like, right? He appeared in my meditation and said, "Follow me, follow me." And we were climbing this mountain, but I mean, he was like running. So I was running after him. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll go. I was running after him, and we go on a kind of plateau, and I see an old guy. I see the back of an old guy, and he's got an easel in front of him, and he's painting, and that's all I see. I see his back. And then there's a kind of stairway going up the mountain, and the young guy leaves, and I'm left with this old man, and I don't know what to say or what to do, and I'm like, hello. And he didn't turn around for a while, and then when I saw his face, I saw that he was Chinese, and my first thought, because everybody I met had a famous guide, or he was Native American or Chinese, or and when I saw that he was Chinese, I thought, my first thought was like, oh my god, no, oh no, he's Chinese, like I just wanted a normal guide, not is normal, but I mean, not one of the types that everybody had, because I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so when I switched, I said, "Oh no, that was my first words to him." And then I asked for his name, and he said, "Just called me the old man." So I didn't like that. Obviously, that's why you'll see in the cards later, he's got to be flexible with me. So I decided to call him Chi. I think it really suits him, and it's a name I gave him, and that's that. So finished the meditation, and I'm like, oh my god, I met my guide, right? And then a little while later, I talked to no one about it. This was just so private, and I mean, you don't obviously go to people and, oh, I just met my guide, you know what I mean? So, little while later, I had a session with a spirit portrait artist, and she specialized, obviously, more in guides, but she started drawing and all that, and I could see he was Chinese. He was going to become, and I was stuck on that chair. I could not believe my eyes. And she said she was, they get information while drawing, and she was drawing, and she was like, I don't know, I just can't catch his name. It just seems like to be an old man. And that's it. That was it. I freaked out. I thought, because it's really fine to imagine things because you think maybe I imagined it. But when someone else tells you, when you've been talking to no one, nobody about it, and especially not, just call me an old man, you're freaked out. You think, maybe she's reading my mind. It could be, but there is something. Anyway, so I've got the portrait downstairs of him that I keep dearly. And then, how can I say? After I met him, it seemed that I didn't often connect with him. From my part. Um, I've always been very individual, doing my own things and not relying on anyone. So learning to rely on someone else, even a guy, just wasn't me. So I didn't really build that relationship. Now and again, I tried, but it was no conclude. I don't know. I don't know if I wasn't too much into it. Whatever. It just wasn't the working relationship, but my fault, my part. Um, then in 2012, I had a big event that changed my life completely, and that's when I cut all connection with tarot, with guides, with God, with everything, because my only mode for a year was survival and rebuild. And and that's when your faith is tested, when all the things you love in 1 second are taken away from you. And I failed the test because obviously, I told them to, you know what, leave me alone. I don't have time or space in my head for this right now. Um, and then I rebuilt my life and started getting a bit more comfortable with what was around me. And I got back in my tarot, and my guide came back. He never left. It's just that I connected again. But not once again, not enough. Now, I think what you see, I have a weird relationship because, as I said, I don't rely on people. And I don't want to think, oh, my guide said this, so I will do that. I don't know. I'm still ambiguous about it, but I'd really like to know him better. That's my point of this video today. So, I'd also like to say, in the meantime, a second guide came through for me, and he came through yoga. He's my sports guide. He does exercise with me. It's really weird, but he does, and he's got an animal with him too, so he's not on his own. I know it's a weird video or conversation to shoot because, some people feel, oh, she's lost it. But no, because I still, whether, tarot, guides, whatever, I still make my own decisions. I informed decision. That's how I call it. Yes, I call on other forces sometimes, be it from tarot, be it from a guide, being from, friends, advices, but ultimately it's my own decision, isn't it? So that's why I'm not 100% comfortable with it, because I've met too many people. Oh, my guy told me this. Yeah, but you're here because you have free will, and you're here because you're not perfect and you have to learn. If you were perfect and didn't have to learn, you wouldn't be here. Um, and I also believe that we have, I am like him. You know, this concept of old souls and all the, we're all spirit. He is a spirit, I'm a spirit. I'm just limited because I'm in my body. That's what I believe now. I know it might sound a bit bizarre to you, and well, that's my opinion. I have no proof of absolutely nothing I'm telling you except for this medium who drew the picture of my guide without knowing that I'd just met him a few days before and giving me his name. Um, that's the only proof I have. So, now that I appear completely crazy, um, I I'm having a month that's very intense for me because I'm challenging a few areas in my life, be it my work, my house, and also which country I'm going to live in next. They're all very important topics, and I'm working hard on it every day. And believe it or not, I've got a job, and I'm waiting on a second, you know, on another answer from another place. So, but anyway, I've got a job for the summer at least until November. So yay! Um, but I still have to work on a few things this month, and got to do with my house, and very important thing, very important, on foundation and my surroundings, and it's like quite a fight on all levels. So when I do this now, I've learned to recenter, regroup, and not get eaten alive by it, because I'm very sensitive and I get eaten alive very easy. And then I get upset, or I scream at people, or whatever I do. But I've learned that when I do things that are really intense, um, that I need to get deep inside. And my way to do this month, because I knew this was coming, it's been months of effort. It did just appear, you know, like the job did just appear, or the other stuff didn't just appear. It's been months or years to work on it, but it seems to all come to completion this month. It's a bit of a funny time right now. So to make sure that, you know, I regroup, of course, I'm doing my yin yoga for the moment and some meditation, and I'm clearing the house. So, you know, selling all stuff, unwanted stuff that I haven't used, looked at, or that I think is just too much. So I've been doing that all month. And one thing really important to me too is that I wanted to get a little bit closer to my guide, hence the topic today. Now, if you haven't met your guide, and I remember when I hadn't met mine, don't despair. He's there, or your angels, or whoever you'd like to connect to through your tarot reading or not. I didn't meet him through tarot, so I met him through meditation, and I think it's the best way. But it might happen through tarot, you know what I mean. Um, I remember looking at everybody around me and say, you know, they all seem so comfortable with the idea, and they all have a guide. But anyway, it will happen if you really want it. Just chill about it, and it will happen. So now, I decided this month, and because of all these events that are happening in my life, and I'm working so hard on, I've decided to look at the challenge that I've saved for nearly a year now, and I was waiting for the right time to do, and the right time is now. And it's called the Spirit Guide Challenge, and it's by at Spiral Sea Tarot. It was a June 2016 challenge, and it's also hashtag Spirit Guide Challenge. I didn't do it in June last year, obviously, because I was doing other things. But I saved it when I saw it. I can't remember where I've seen it, probably on Facebook, and I knew I wanted to do it one day. So let's do. I've already done 3 days, and I'm gonna pull live the fourth day just to show you what type of challenge it is. So day one, what type of guide are you? So day one, I picked. Oh yeah, the deck. How do you pick your deck? That's another question, because for guides, uh, any deck will work, obviously, but I have a choice. Too much choice, but I have a choice of decks. And I really wanted to find the right one for this challenge. I didn't want a busy deck. That I knew, but that's all I knew. So, how do you choose your deck when you get into a challenge that's very specific like this? Well, my way is to say I've got a Chinese cabinet, Chinese type, it's not real Chinese, and inside there's all my tarot. So I sit in the front of it, and then I see which tarot calls me. I will open one or two pouches and see this one maybe, yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no. But then usually there's one that goes me. So I pick it, look at it, and I say, yeah, that will do. And the one that said me is the Sun and Moon Tarot, the one in the tin, but I mean the Sun and Moon Tarot, because I don't use it much. And that's a perfect occasion. I will just stick with it for the moment. Obviously, if I change my mind, I will later, but change it later. But for right now, it's a perfect deck for this, and the perfect way for me to get back into this tarot. So, day one, what type of guide are you? I picked a card, and it was Justice. And well, I wasn't surprised. I mean, it looks like an angel guide, actually, um, more than a just guide. Well, just a guide. It looks like an angel guide. It's an angel. It's a guide with wings. Although I didn't see that on him. And then what interested me is I like the sword, right? I think it's a woman on here. Yeah, she's holding the sword down like this, and it will go through the clouds and come to us. So it's a guide that inspires, that obviously guides, but also the guide of justice. You can see here the heart and the feather. So this is extremely Egyptian, where the heart of the deceased was weighed against the feather, and if the scale was balanced, then they could go to the afterward. So maybe is a guide to that it helps with the transition from death to the afterward, right? Could be. Also, when you look at, they're not exactly clouds, are they? They're like, it's like creation to me. It screams creation. So it is a guide of creativity, and that's why maybe I saw him painting. That's the first impression he wanted to give me. Is that he will be here for creativity too. Beautiful card. The second question is, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself? And I picked another major, the Wheel of Fortune. Now, on this one, there is a strong time issue. It's about the cycles of life and death and life, and it does link to the first card, doesn't it? So I was wondering uh, if this guide is really one that um, is linked to life and death. But what I found interesting too is the lion, the monkey, and the crocodile here. In the booklet, let me find you the page. It does say, oh, it's a sphinx. Sorry, it's not a lion, it's a sphinx. Yeah, I didn't see. My light is quite low on the screen. It's a sphinx. The sphinx represents objectivity and wisdom. The monkey is flexibility. The crocodile is creativity. Here we go again, creativity. So creative, that's great. I knew that. Flexibility. Now it's got to be flexible with me because I am very impatient. And when I saw the wheel like this of time, I thought this is perfect for me. Is he going to teach me patience? Because I've worked on it and uh, I fail. I fell in my impatience. I don't know why I'm so impatient. Then objectivity and wisdom. Now I have traits of these, and I want to learn more about objectivity and wisdom. And I had actually an incident on Saturday. I had a verbal fight with a woman, and it became quite aggressive. Not from my part, but I was just very firm. I wasn't aggressive, but a third person came and started being aggressive. And that's when, after the event, I was shook, right? And after the event, I thought, why did I want to be right? um, I, I just got very upset that this person was disrespecting me. And I forgot that it's not about me, it's about her, right? And I just I just went, and that coupled with my impatience because I had to queue. I often fight in queues. Well, not fight, but I mean have words in queues because that's when I'm really edgy. Um, so it taught me a big lesson again on Saturday. So anyway, time. Not that you have to let people walk all over you, but sometimes it's true that if you take it from a point of wisdom and objectivity, like this card, you will find that it doesn't matter really. It's the other person who's acting wrongly, so it doesn't really matter. You're still whole, you know. It's okay. But I got dragged into it anyway. Um, so yes, the wheel of time, and the wheel of time, that it does it, is he a guide that is here for incarnation? You know, that was my question when I saw this card. So I picked a third one for the prompt. Can you tell me a bit about the work you do on the other side? And funny enough, I don't know if there's a lot of people in clouds on this deck, but there is, or there is a person with a sword and that looks a bit lost, right? And there's all these other swords, and to me it meant, oh, maybe it's somebody who arrived, you know, after death, that arrived where we have to go, and then he would be there to greet and guide, and you know, and you can see all these people waiting to come through with the swords. So he might be a welcomer to the other side, or it might be the other way around. It might be that he's actually letting people know it's time to incarnate. I don't know. I'm not too sure which way, but I think it's more the, you know, after this. But and he's there to reassure them and guide them. So I thought that was a very interesting card too. So let's pick one live for what are your strengths as a guide. This one, the Nine of Cups. I can't see the card. There it is. It's back. So the Nine of Cups. There's a lot of cups separated, but you can see there it's the moon, and it's a woman dancing in the front of a moon in water, and she's got cups there. It's like she's leaving all her worries there in the front of her, and she's just dancing under the moon. And maybe what that means is that his work on the other side is to alleviate the emotional charge that people have. um, Maybe comes in dreams because there's the moon there and the water. It makes me think of dream time, night time. um, So, quite an interesting card. Each card is actually a meditation. They are wonderful cards, but they're so profound. Now, you can see too that the woman is, she's running towards the left, isn't it? So, it's a bit, she's looking towards the past. So, maybe is a guide that right now, for me, is helping me to get over the past hurt. So that would be one too. And one of the ways he would do that is at night work maybe on my mind, on my feelings. Um, and make me happy. Well, I work hard myself to be happy. But I have a very light heart, and the world makes it heavy. So I have this, no, I'm not, up and down, but yes, I have a light heart, and but sometimes I feel very heavy by everything that's happening around. And when I see the cups, I can understand. Although these cups are okay, they're, like the keyword, although I'm not a fan of keywords, but they're probably happiness cups. And when you see the nine, you think, well, I'm pretty happy. It took a lot of work, and um, but pretty happy. I'm not happy, happy. No, I'm not. But the guide works on these, so that's great news. So anyway, I will put her name, her challenge below for you. There's 30 questions. They're all very interesting, as you can see on each card. You can think about it for a while, meditate on it for hours and journal with it. It's a great way, even if you don't know your guide. Journal, pick the card, write down what you think that your guide does, and maybe that's a way that you will link to your guide. And if you have linked already, well, it's good to know more. And through these questions, it's a great way to do this. So I hope it inspired you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.